Hello, and welcome to my channel. This is Lise here of Plan with Elise, and today we are creating two custom Patreon spreads for the month of July. So first up, we have a monthly layout. I'd like to use this for goals, and it's just a really good monthly dashboard. And this spread is going to be for Candice, and Candice requested floral, but didn't request a specific floral. So I have a lot of floral sticker books, but I was looking at them and I came across Beautifully Lined by Live Love Posh. And I just think that this is such a beautiful sticker book. And I have a couple of copies of it actually, because when I tend to place like a Live Love Posh order when something is on sale or if there's a new item that I want a backup of, this is one of those sticker books that I will pick up an extra copy of. I don't remember if it's still in stock right now or not, but it's just so pretty. And I thought that it would be perfect for this spread. So I'm going to start right over here with this floral right on the edge. And then I want to also bring in some of the purple, because this set of florals has like a little bit of this purple. But it's mostly pink, but I want to make sure that I'm incorporating that other color. So we're going to take the floral, the purple, I can get it off the page. And this one, we're going to put right over here, just to make sure we're getting that color in. I feel like starting by getting the colors down that I want to use is always really helpful because it kind of sets the standard for the rest of the spread. The next sticker book that I want to pull out is Hell Plan's Alpha Basics Volume 3. And we're going to list here. I think we're going to use the pink, but in order to use the pink, I need my white gel pen, which strangely enough is not where it's supposed to be. Okay, I found it. So I'm going to use this to cover up, and we're going to do a really thick cover up. And the idea here is that you barely touch the page. You just kind of let the ink fall onto the page. It barely feels like you're making contact. You're just kind of getting as close to the page as possible and just seeing the letters be covered up. All right, we'll let that settle for a minute. And while that's settling, I'm also going to do some additional cover-ups. So this time I'm using correction tape, because when I put another box down, I'll use correction tape, but when I'm putting letters over it, that's when I'll use the white pen. Okay, so looking at our box options here, I feel like I'm missing a color from this, which is strange because there are 3 sheets of headers. All right, so we're going to go a little bit brighter here because these pinks are definitely going to be challenging to match, but I feel like when it comes to florals, you can do a lot of different shades of a color because florals always have variations in there. So now let's take this is dry, so we're going to come back up here and I'm going to spell out a word here. See if you can guess it before I get there. This is Alpha Basics Volume 3 by Kelva Plan. I love all of the Alpha Basics. I need to make sure I'm spelling this right. I love all the Alpha Basics by Kelva Plan. They are some of my favorite sticker books, but I love 3 because the letters are small and I feel like I can spell out a lot of things in a small amount of space. Like this. We are spelling out at this point, maybe you've guessed it. I like going from the right to the left to make sure that I have enough space, because if it ends up going over the floral, that's fine. But if I had started on the left side, I probably would have started here. It happened to work out perfectly. I didn't know that that was going to happen. But if I started here and there was a couple of extra letters, I would have been I would have had a problem. So starting from the right side really helps shift over. All right, so now that we have that, let's come in with our, I think we're gonna go for a pale here. And I would typically alternate the pink and the purple, but I'm kind of thinking, actually, let's cover these up. This time I'm just gonna do what I call like a dirty cover up. We're just sort of doing a quick cover up to mute the black lines a little bit so that you don't see them through the bullet points. I think a lot of times what I see through the bullet points, because I have these massive lights shining down for YouTube, is a little bit more than you may see if the planner is in your hands, but just in case. All right, so let's add this purple here. And then it may be time to introduce a pale pink. Like this pink could be pretty here. And these are just the right size. So when you're putting bullet points down that are a little bit bigger, oops, that's the wrong one. You just want to make sure that you're really centering it between the lines. So let's talk about this layout for a second. This layout is only available right now if you get a custom planner. I actually realized shortly before filming this video that I was out of this layout, and I do these a lot for custom spreads. So my Patreon members came through, I posted over on Patreon and asked who has this layout, outdated, undated, current dated, whatever, that they're not using that I could buy from them. And I have 3 members who have them that are sending them to me. So I'm very grateful. I hope that Happy Planner comes back with this layout because it's so good and I don't want it to go away. So, okay, now we have our bullets in. So, let's come back to the left side for a second. And I'm going to pull out these heading boxes, and these are going to be great for our habits. So we'll do one there, and then with our pink. Is this the, that's not, is that the same color? I can't tell. I feel like this is a little bright. I think that once I put more of the flower in though, like more of the florals, it'll pop out a little bit more. So now let's come back to the floral, and I want to take this big one. And I'd like this just to like kind of come out over here, but I want to make sure that I'm getting the colors that I want. So just strategically place this, and then we'll trim. The other thing is, if you are using undated or outdated monthly layouts, one thing, actually, especially outdated, one thing you want to be mindful of that I ran into the last time I did this is the number of dates in the habit tracker, because not all months have 31 days. July does, so you'll want to make sure that you are using one that has the 31 days. All right. So we are punched, and then over here, let's decide. I never remember what I do. They're not like the same every single time that I do these. What can we put over here? We have upcoming. This is going to be to do, so I may as well just pop that in anyway, or like check it off, but it's really to do. And that kind of softens it a little bit, having these in here. To do. And then I think we're going to do brainstorm, because when I'm setting monthly goals, no matter what planner I'm using, I have ideas before the month starts, and then when the month comes, I start to put them in my planner, and then other ideas always pop into my head throughout the month, or priorities change or plans change. So I think it's helpful to have a spot to do some brainstorming in. And if I wasn't so comfy in my chair right now, I'd pop up and pause the video when I'm putting these down, but we don't have that many more because I know the alphabet part takes some time. Oh. The other good thing about Alpha Basics Volume 3 is that because the letters are smaller, there's so many of them, so I'm not running out as quickly as I sometimes do with other alphabet sticker books. Okay, there we go. And we've got florals in. This is looking pretty. I'm excited about it. All right, now let's come back to this area, and guess what? We're going to cover up again. I'm going to do a really thick cover up here. If I had used the correction tape on the left side where I did upcoming, actually you can kind of see it down at the bottom with brainstorm. Where is it? Right over here. There's a tiny bit of correction tape here. It's just a matter of preference of what you like want to be visible or not visible. I don't think that you have to necessarily use this, but it is a tool that I really love. So now I want to kind of replicate what I set up on the left side. And to do that, we're going to, actually, let's do the purple flower first, because that'll kind of set up the corner for me. How do I do that? Like here? Yeah. I'm gonna do that and just a little bit going over. And then put this here. And then we trim. I didn't wait as long as I should have for this to dry. I can still kind of see the words there a tiny bit. It's not enough to redo, but you do actually want to wait for that to dry. I sort of forgot about that as I was doing it. And then let's just add in this last floral right over here. Okay, so I feel like now we're going to put our goals for the month. But I'm afraid that if I just put goals here, it's going to kind of get lost because the words are going to be small. So let's come back over here and we're going to pop in another floral. Whenever I say certain words on camera, like small, I feel very New Jersey. Like I hear it, like coffee, small. The main thing that like a lot of my planner friends joke around with me about is the way that I say water versus water. But I can't help it. It's what sounds right to me, and it's the way everyone around me pronounces it. Okay. But that's the fun thing about having friends throughout the country is you have a little bit of different, it's not accent, what's the word? There's a word for it. I need another sip of coffee before I can come up with that word. All right. Now we're going to do goals here and just try to like visualize where the middle might be. Give it a little bit more space as I go through. G-O-A. This is looking very cute. It's soft, and I think that soft is really nice for a monthly overview like this because you don't want something too overwhelming. The goal of this, to talk about goals, the goal of this is to hold your plans and your goals and your dreams. And I think when things are too busy, it tends to take away from that and be distracting. So I think that this is really good. Now, the idea here is that this can be, okay, what's upcoming, right? If I'm using this for my own planner, things that are upcoming in July is going to be like my birthday, an engagement party, um, a girls' weekend that I have, going away down the shore. To do are the things that I want to get done in a month. Brainstorm or other ideas. These are going to be 3 habits to track, and this is where we're actually going to put in the goals for the month. So, trying to decide what I want to do here. I guess we can do, I want to do a double box. I know that a double box is going to take up a lot of space, but I kind of had this visual that like a double box would be, I don't really want it to be lined, would be a good space to write down something bigger, but also something that maybe needed to be more specific or mapped out. So we're going to put this right here. And then we'll come back to our pink. I'm out of this. That's annoying. Do I have it in this color? Oh my gosh, I'm really out. Okay, let's go to our light pink. I didn't even think about that beforehand. We have the light pink. So let's maybe combine the pinks. Like if I take this one, put it over here. But you know me, white pen, cover up. This doesn't need to be as precise. Just kind of muting it. And then we can take a pink box over here. And the style and the size in which you do this really just depends on the goals that you're writing down, if you need them to be bigger, smaller, etc. So let's pull out one more. Oh, I don't have any more. I do have one more of that pink. Okay, that works out well. So I was thinking we could like put one here. Kind of just making like a nice layered effect here. Now you can see that floral through, but once you write on this, you're not going to be able to see, or once Candice writes down on this, you won't be able to see through it. That's why sometimes I don't always cover it, because once it's written in, it gets covered anyway. Let's add one more right over here. Okay, that's really pretty. Next up, I'm going to take a purple zebra brush pen, and we're going to just, whoops, a little messy. Just add a little bit of shadow to these boxes. I'm not always great at doing the straight line here, as you can see. But if there's any spot that you go over, like I did here, you can just take the white pen and pop that in. Okay, let's take pink. I'm going to take these pink numbers, although it's strange because these numbers don't really match the colors we used here. I feel like this is supposed to, I think maybe when I put it down, it'll look better. But this is where I want to, I can't get these off. You know how when you're going through airport security, you feel that like stress of trying to get your stuff like in the bin like quickly and organized, and it's like, you know that stress I'm talking about? That's how I feel sometimes when I'm pulling stickers up on camera. Like if it takes me an extra second longer, I feel like I'm one of those people at airport security who's taking too long. Like has a very similar feeling. I don't want to say stress level. It's a little stressful, but it has a very similar feeling. And it's really funny to me because I think it wasn't until this very moment that I realized what that reminds me of. So while those are drying, I'm grabbing another tweezer and we're just going to just add this in over here to pop in a little bit more of the floral. All right, now we're gonna come back and that's the wrong way. That's not the sticky side. All right, let's try this again. Sometimes bending it does help, sometimes it doesn't. It's one of the reasons that I prefer paper stickers a lot of the time is because they're so much easier to peel up. 1, 2, and 3, and that is perfect for top priorities. And now I tend to do the same word over here, which you may already guess if you've seen these types of videos, but this is where I like to do reflections. And this is a good way for Candice or anyone using this layout, this type of layout, to just reflect on the month. So we've kind of gone full circle, right? We have upcoming to do, brainstorm goals, top priorities, and now reflections. If you're using bigger stickers, you could also just write reflect or sticker reflect. R-E-F-L-E. See how much easier the paper stickers are to peel up? I think it's because when I bend the page, they pop up. The clear ones don't usually do that. Oh, and as I'm saying that, this one's not working, of course. Uh-oh. I jinxed myself. I-O-N-S. Reflections. Okay. I think that we're finished with this one. Let me stand up and get like a good visual. Make sure you have a good visual. Yeah, I think that this is really pretty. Like I said, it's soft. It doesn't scream July because these aren't necessarily like summer florals, but I just think that it's really good for a new month. So that is the first spread. Our next spread is for Xandrea, and for this spread, we are doing the parenting layout. So we want this to be undated, so I'm going to pop in and just cover up these dates because this one is from August. This is another layout that unfortunately is sold out. I do hope Happy Planner restocks it because this was such a popular layout. I know that very often when a brand is creating a brand new layout, they are, mindful of stock because they don't know if it's going to be a hit or not. The same thing happened when Laurel Denise came out with the portrait planner. It was a smaller stock release, and then hopefully it'll be part of the 2026 collection. So I'm hopeful that Happy Planner will bring back the parenting layout for their 2026 collection as well, but I don't know any of that information. So that's just what I would assume in all these years of being in the planner community. Parenting layout. Okay, so Xandrea requested animal print. So Wildly Chic by Live Love Posh is such a fun sticker book when you want to include some sort of animal print into your spread. So I feel like I'm trying to see what I have a decent amount of, but I also feel like I don't need a ton of stickers in this. This tends to be a layout that I feel like, should we use these or should we use the tiger? I haven't used any of the tiger. This is a layout that I kind of feel like similar to the dashboard where I don't want to overdo it with stickers and then you don't have the space to functionally plan. So this layout is still, I think, a little bit of a learning curve for me, but we're going to start out with this tiger right over here. I like second guessed myself for a minute. Is this a tiger? Of course it's a tiger. I'm gonna put this here. And then I really want some of the like tiger stripes as well. I'm like butchering these stickers today, trying to get these off. So I'd like to cover up some of these headers with boxes that's going to add to the color here. So I think that this, looking a little mustardy, something with more of an orange. That's a little too bright though. Let's come back to these colors. I think that this would look good. It is a little bright, but I feel like it's going to make the stickers pop. So we're going to cover that up, and then we're going to kind of put this together. Or do we do it this way? Yeah, let's do it this way. This way, Xandrea can pop in her own headers. If I remember correctly, though, header boxes aren't going to fit very nicely over here. I kind of want to do them anyway, though. We're just going to do them. So for these, I don't really need to use my pen. I can use my correction tape. We're going to cover up a tiny bit by doing this, but I just think it's going to look better. And there's so much functional space in this spread, it's not going to really remove too much. So let me come back over here though, because I don't think we have a lot of these like little stripes. I don't know that we need them everywhere. I may bring in some washi though. So let's take the rest of these. And pop these in. I don't know if I want to put a box over the top 5 though. That's to be determined. So we're going to add some washi in here. This isn't necessarily a zebra stripe, but I feel like it's kind of similar. It's as close as I can get with what I have. I feel like I've already cut like half of this, which is really great because that helps me right now very much. So we're just going to come in here with this and add that throughout. One of the things that I love most about decorative planning, but especially making spreads for Patreon members, is that, you know, I sit down and I'm like, okay, I know that, you know, Xandrea wants animal print and a parenting layout, but I didn't know anything else that was going to come of this. Like, I don't map it all out in my head beforehand. And maybe, oh, something is red. Okay, we'll clean this up. Maybe it's not good that I don't map it out all in my head beforehand, but it's just like the creativity kind of comes. All right, that'll be okay once she writes in it. I just want to check my hands and see. There must have been, it was probably this. Yeah, it was this because, okay, that's going to be cleaned. I had used it to create lines in a recent spread and I never cleaned it off afterwards, so that's on me. All right, now let's take top 5. We're going to cover it with my white pen. And I'm actually going to use these stickers again, because I just think that they'll look better. So actually, before we do that, let's come back to Wildly Chic. And I'm just going to add this in right over here to help cover up some of the white. And then we need my T. By doing this, we're also covering up the ability to put the month here. It's not going to be visible, is it? Let's just do this. I don't know what I was thinking. I have another O down here. I don't have an O. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Literally, O. There's a 0. I don't want to use a 0. Trying to see if there's something that I may be able to fake into an O. Usually it would be like, oh, you know what? Maybe we use, I need a black pen. Maybe we try with a C. Yeah, that works. It's not perfect, but it works. That's good. I feel like I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I'm sort of eliminating the ability to put a month over here, but I also think that it's okay because I feel like when your planner is in the month, like within the month that you're in, unless you're doing planning like way ahead of time, you're not going to forget what month it is. So I'm not in the camp that feels like you have to have the month on the left side. Once Xandrea uses this, depending on what month she uses it for, I'm assuming July, she can pop like a tiny July sticker over here. I think that that's okay. And then to go along with our color that we're putting here, let's also cover up the meal plans. I don't know why I'm using my pen instead of the correction tape. It's just what I grabbed. I know I'm not being very consistent with this today. But it just really makes the color pop, having something a little bit extra here. And then we can come back with our washi and use a different washi card, not the one with the pink on it. And just come right to the edge. All right, it's looking good. Now I need another animal. There's like not enough animal in here. We have the animal print. Oops. But I'm not having enough animals. So before I do anything else though, I need to punch this. I could tell that my punch was a little full. So you can open this here and just take out anything that's clogging it up. I think a tweezer helps most, taking these out, but it does get clogged up when you don't clean it regularly. So if you're noticing that yours isn't punching nicely, there we go, it's so much better. It likely just needs to be cleared out. There's a little bit of sticker down here. All right, let's come back with the eyeballs of prioritizing some more tigers. So we've got this one here, which is perfect because it just kind of pops out the side and that won't take up way too much space. That's really pretty. And then I don't necessarily want to put one over here on Friday because we have this one right here, but I think that we can add one in somewhere else, maybe on Monday. This is a little bit of a tougher layout though, because you don't want to lose too much space. And I've just taken up a third or half of Monday with that tiger. So hopefully the Monday that Xandrea uses this is not a very busy Monday. Now I'm going to cut these stripes a little bit and we're going to maybe add them in right here. And then we can take this one, kind of pop it over here like that. Hopefully Friday's not busy. Okay. Days of the week. So I'd like to bring in some color for the days of the week. And I have my Planner Kate day of the week headers here. This set I'm going to use is actually an older set, but what I like about it is that she will be able to put the date, and that's really helpful. Sometimes when using day of the week headers, they're long. like the word itself is long, but this is really going to allow her to add the date as well for whenever she uses this. And I think that that's really pretty with the green. It like pops it in really nicely. I like how this is looking. Saturday. And Sunday. Okay. We're looking good. Next up, what's my next trick here? We're going to come to Kell of a Plan, Dots and Checklists, Volume 2. And this Volume 2 has smaller bullet points. And I'm going to come in with these bullet points because they match the header boxes that we put on the left side. And that'll sort of bring the colors from both pages together. I like this mustard and green combo. It's not a combo that I use often, if I've ever used it, but I feel like it's a pretty combo. I'm liking it. And I think that adding in those header boxes really made a difference. A little fuzz here. So I find that using a tweezer with bullet point stickers, super easy to pull them up, but I just also bend the page. You don't have to, but it just makes it a little bit easier. I find that when I don't bend the page, I indent the bullet point a little bit, and I don't want to do that, especially for someone else's spread. So we're just bending the page up so the sticker kind of peels and then pulling that extra part. But I'm pretty rough with my stickers and products, so it depends on who you are. Okay, we need washi on this side. We don't have any washi. So, well, we have this pattern, but I'd still like to bring in some of this washi. So I want to rip it so that it's not so thick. For me, the easiest way to rip this is by pulling it up, but not pulling it off the roll, because then I have this roll hanging here and it kind of serves as a weight and gives me a little bit more control than I'd have if I had pulled it off. Is that long enough? We're about to find out. Let's see. Just about long enough. All right, now this will just kind of come back on here that I can use the next time I use this washi, which is probably like once a year. So it'll be a nice surprise the next time. All right, I'd like to include some boxes on the right side as well. It's tough because I don't know when this is going to be used for, because we're undating it, but one of the jokes that I make is that I always pop a Tuesday box in when I'm doing custom spreads, because Tuesdays are our Patreon Zooms. So if Xandrea is using this in a week that we have a Zoom on Tuesday, hopefully she will come. And then just for sake of balance and, you know, functionality, because I don't know if she has this sticker book with these colors, I'm just going to add in a couple of other boxes as well that she can use. So I feel like Sundays are always a day that you pop something into your planner, and then maybe Fridays too. But we could even go a little bit bigger here and take some black, because we have black on the left side, and let's just add in a couple more here. The only thing that I feel like is missing right now is green on the left, because or green on the right, because I have it on the left. Nope, green on the left because I have it on the right. That took me a minute. So I actually want to come back to header boxes and see. That's a good green. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of switcheroo here. 1, 2. I think I'm just going to switch out 2 of these header boxes here. I wish I had realized that, because then I could have used those header boxes on the right side, but it's okay. Yeah, that's the difference. Sometimes you can just see that something is not right and you're not entirely sure why, and then once it's resolved, it looks so much better. Yes, that's perfect. I feel like we have enough animal in. We've got 4 tigers. We have some of the animal print. We've got some washi. It's functional, but not taking up too much space. So I think that it's good. I think that we are set. So this is Xandrea's parenting layout. While this layout is sold out, I'll link the Live, Love, Posh, Wildly Chic and Kelva plan. Everything that I used, always linked in the description. And then we have Candice's monthly goals, 2 very different spreads, but I love them both. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.